What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a few reasons why you should buy the AMG GTS. If that sounds good to you, make sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. The vast majority of people that watch my videos are not subscribed, so go ahead, take 0.002 seconds out of your day to hit that subscribe button so that way you don't miss any of the videos that I'm going to make with my GTS. Alright, I think it's pretty obvious, but the first reason why you should buy the AMG GTS is because it looks fantastic. And as beautiful as it is to me, it's actually pretty controversial because of that long hood. It has a really big engine, but it's a front mid engine. So basically, the engine is from here to about here. And for that reason alone, they have to make the hood a little bit longer. So there's a lot of extra space over here. And for that reason, I'm not too sure why, but I can just speculate, and it's probably just for like some safety reasons, just in case if, God forbid, you get in an accident. But the other thing is, the hood is this long for a reason. Even though this is just the GTS, it's not the GTC or the GTR, it is such a well-balanced vehicle. When you go around turns, you hug corners in this car very well, even in the winter time. Like right now, it's like 40 degrees outside, and I am on some summer tires because it was like 70 degrees for the past like week and a half, but then all of a sudden it snowed yesterday and now it's 40 degrees. But this car, it sticks to the ground, it hugs the corners very well. It's a very, very fun car to drive. But at the end of the day, it is a Mercedes, so you're gonna get some top-notch quality in the interior. The bucket seats with the yellow stitching, like the attention to detail, even the stitching around here is just insane. Carbon fiber on the door over here, carbon fiber in the center console over there. Basically, the inside of this car is like a fighter jet. Here's a little POV action of the steering wheel. It's actually a pretty girthy steering wheel. It's very easy to hold. The paddle shifter quality is, okay, just listen. Yeah, boy. Yeah, that sounds so satisfying. And then some extra storage over here. Can't really fit much. I have my draggy and a couple masks, and that's about it. We have our dynamic select over here, the power button, traction control, suspension, exhaust, that's my favorite button, the exhaust button, the automatic start stop, which kind of idles your engine if you're at a complete stop at like a traffic light or at a stop sign. It's very annoying. I never use this. I always keep it off. Manual mode, and then the volume select. So the only thing that I am not a super big fan of in this interior is the piano black. Although it looks amazing, it's just very annoying to clean because there's fingerprints everywhere. Can't really complain about the interior though. It's very nice quality, no rattles or anything crazy. If you go over a big bump, yeah, it does rattle a little bit, but that's just all interiors basically. So if you're worried about quality, don't worry. Mercedes interior quality is just insane, especially in the GT, because I just love this center console over here. Gives me really nice fighter jet vibes, even though I've never been in a fighter jet. So besides the looks of this car and like the super top-notch interior quality, the next reason why you should buy the GTS is because of that twin turbo V8 sound. Listen to this. Those pops were insane. It sounds so good. That was only in Sport Plus mode too and not in race mode. But this is what it sounds like at idle. So as you guys can hear, the car just sounds amazing for a twin turbo car. All right, so now we covered the looks, we covered the sound, we covered the interior, and now the fourth reason why you should buy the GTS is if you don't want a car that is too flashy. You want to have a nice car, you want to have like kind of like a high-end sports car slash low-end supercar, which is basically the GTS. The car is not too flashy. Like only the trained eye can basically tell what this car is. Sometimes when I go to gas stations, I do get questions asked about this car, what it is and stuff like that. The most recent thing that happened was somebody asked me to just rev it at the gas station. And yeah. So the car isn't like a Lambo or an R8. It looks really good, but it's not too flashy, especially because it's black. So if you want a car that has really nice performance and it's not too flashy, then go ahead and consider the GTS or the GTC or GTR. And then the other good thing about this car is you can drive it normally in the city when you want it to just be normal, And then if you're trying to have some fun with this car, you easily can. With the flick of a button, you can turn this car into an absolute monster on the streets. This car is wicked fast. It has a twin turbo V8 with 515 horsepower and about 650 Newton meters of torque, if I am not mistaken. Let's pop the hood so you guys can see. So here it is, that twin turbo V8, 515 horsepower, 650 Newton meters of torque. But thank you, Kevin, for doing the final assembly. Appreciate it. You spent 3.5 hours assembling this engine. Thank you very much. But yeah, so this space over here, there is no engine over here. It's just a big gap, and I think that's just because of safety reasons. I'm not too sure why, so. But as I was saying before, if you just wanted to drive this car normally, it is very possible. It's very daily drivable. I want to say it's about 95% daily drivable if you live in the northeastern area. That 5% where I'm like, oh, it's not too daily drivable, is if it snows more than 5 inches. And that happens every single winter in the Northeast. So even if you have winter tires, it's just not possible to just drive this car over 5 inches of snow. Because it is rear-wheel drive, all the power is going to these 2 wheels in the back. But other than that, you can daily drive this car. You can take this car to a grocery store, you can go shopping with it. The trunk space is actually not that bad, and let me show you. And unfortunately, there's no button to open the trunk, so you have to use your key or the button next to the steering wheel. And as you see over here, I have my camera gear, more camera gear. I have no idea what this is. It came with the car. And then just some automotive tape, you know, the usual. But the trunk space is actually pretty good. I went to Costco and I put like those huge roll of Bounty towels and some toilet paper and a few other things, and it fit perfectly fine. It is very easy to drive, and you can have a nice relaxing day with your GTS. And if you didn't want to, it is very easy to turn this thing into a street monster. Another thing is that I think it's pretty obvious, but this car is pretty freaking fast. We're gonna put the car into race mode, and we're gonna fly. I wanted to test the 0 to 60 mile per hour time with the winter tires on, and I got 3.7 seconds, and the video is right over here. I actually do have my summer tires on now, but it is still very cold outside. It's supposed to warm up sometime soon, but as soon as it gets warmed up, I'll try my 0 to 60 again. So even though this car is a twin turbo V8, the gas mileage is actually not too bad. Let me go ahead and show you guys what I did. So I do get about 12 to 15 miles per gallon in this car, and that's mostly because as soon as the car warms up, I put it immediately into Sport Plus or race mode. Because you can't just drive this car and keep it in comfort mode the entire time. Unless if you wanted to, you could. It's very possible. So if you are worried about gas mileage, you should be, because you can go through a whole tank if you drive in race mode for a while. So even though all the power goes to the rear wheels, the car does a very good job of putting the power down and not slipping, as long as the tires are warm enough. And by warm enough, you probably have to do a couple pulls or a couple launches just to make them warm enough. But that's like basically every other car. So if you guys are wondering if I have issues with traction, I actually don't have that much issues with the car unless if the tires are very cold. But as soon as the tires warm up and I want to do a launch, this thing just flies. So at the end of the day, this is a Mercedes. A lot of people think that Mercedes caters cars to old men, and all I want to say is that I just completely disagree. So Mercedes not only makes cars for old men, but they make cars for young people like you and I. The result of making a car for young people is right over here. Overall, the GTS is a very, very fun car to drive. I am very happy with my purchase. I bought this car a couple months ago, and I can't wait to make a ton of videos with this car. So overall, this is a Mercedes. You do get very good quality with this car. And my GTS, the sticker price with all the options on it was about $160,000. But I got a pretty good deal on this car. I didn't have to pay $160,000. But a lot of people would be like, oh, if I'm gonna pay 160 grand for a car, why would I buy a GTS? Like, I could just go and buy a McLaren 570 or something. And yeah, you could, if you wanted to. You can go ahead and spend like 150 grand on a McLaren 570S. And those cars, they are beautiful and they sound pretty good too. But with McLarens, it's very hard to find a reliable McLaren. A lot of people that I know that have owned McLarens, they have a lot of issues with the quality, and I can assure you with the GTS, you won't have to worry about too many things. So as a result, this car, it's beautiful. It's wicked fast. It puts the power down really well when the tires are warm. The interior quality is absolutely insane. It looks like you're in a freaking fighter jet. It looks absolutely stunning, and it sounds crazy.
Don't finna jump for the shit. All top when I speak, all cap with the speech till they caught up in the rapture. I'm so out of line with the phrase game. Let's take a break, been a long day. Hit your line, what you fall through with the nightsticks. Maybe help me spark the ideas. We got nowhere else to go. It's only up from there.